What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. And this time we're taking a look at the Lego Movie 2, the second part, sequel to the first Lego Movie. All right, let's waste no time. Let's get right into it. I like Lego Movie 2 on the same level as I liked the first Lego Movie. I think this one has, I think this one has a little bit more of a darker storyline, but it never overly does it to the point where it's jarring. Since first and foremost, this is a Lego movie, so it's a kids movie, but it doesn't mean you can't tell a mature story, which is what this movie does, and I actually really enjoyed it for that. So the overall basic plot of Lego Movie 2 is this. This movie takes place 5 years after the events of the first movie, and the Lego universe is being invaded by the Lego Dolpo, which are aliens from outer space. So pretty much everything, Emmett and his friends are in a race against time to stop this thing called Armageddon. In so doing so, Emmett comes across a mysterious man named Rex Dangerfest. So yeah, that's the overall plot of Lego Movie 2. And like I said, I like this movie on the same level as I liked Lego Movie 1. I think from a voice casting standpoint, everyone from the first movie returns for this. I like certain directions that certain characters went into. I really enjoyed what they did with the Emmett character in this movie. They really expanded upon his personality. In that first movie, he's this happy-go-lucky guy. Everything is awesome. But in this movie, he discovers his more harder-edged side, hanging out with this Rex Dangerfest guy, who at the end of the movie is revealed to be Emmett from the future, who has gone through a lot of trauma. And I like that, whole dynamic. And Chris Pratt, as both Emmett and Rex, I thought did a really good job at distinguishing the two. He plays Emmett still as this bubbly, happy guy, and for Rex Dangerfest, he puts on his best Kurt Russell, especially a combination of Snake Plissken and Jack Martin from the Escape movies and Big Trouble in Little China. I thought Chris Pratt, as both Emmett and Rex, he was, to me, the star of the show. Him acting against himself as the same character with two distinct different personalities, I thought was a lot of fun. And a lot of the scenes with Emmett and Rex, I thoroughly enjoyed. Elizabeth Banks once again returns to voice the character of Lucy Wildstyle, and we also get to know more about the Wildstyle character. We come to find out that she's not this hard, brooding person that she was in that first movie. She was actually like everyone else once, but just got bored of being happy-go-lucky and decided to become a more brooding version of herself. Kind of like teens in the 90s who just wanted to be goth for the sake of being goth. That's the Lucy character. She was pretty much hiding under her facade as to who she really was. She goes through a good character growth because she learns that, you can, be happy and sad all at the same time, and you don't just gotta be dark and brooding. So I like what they do with the Lucy character. It worked for me. And this movie brings in and of course the rest of the supporting cast from that first movie returns. Will Arnett once again is hilarious as Lego Batman, and the whole storyline of him and the Queen of Dolpo getting married. I thought that whole thing was actually pretty amusing and pretty funny. Will Arnett does a really good job of playing a caricature of the Batman character, and Tiffany Haddish, who I am not an overly enthusiastic about as an actress, just because I don't really care, and I've seen enough of her to pretty much say that I don't really find her to be all that funny. But in this movie, I found her amusing, and her and Arnett surprisingly have really good chemistry with one another. And the whole thing of Batman and Queen, whatever want to be, having a matrimony was actually very amusing. And the whole planet of the Sistar system is actually pretty amusing to itself, as as they explain everything through musicals. Certain songs can be a little bit, but there's one that I actually did like, which is this song where whatever wannabe is explaining why she doesn't want to marry Batman, and it makes a lot of references to Batman lore, which I thought was actually pretty funny and hilarious. And this actual song is what makes Batman break his brooding nature and be like, marry me. I actually thought that was actually kind of funny. And I actually enjoyed that part of the musical. So other characters return also. Metalbeard from the first movie returns. Unikitty returns. This time when she gets angry, she turns into like a huge giant monster. The story, like I said, is a little bit more mature as it as it pretty much tells you that not everything is going to be perfect, but that doesn't mean that you have to try to be perfect. You can just be yourself. Like, that's the underlying message of this movie, and I like it. Like, I really liked it. It told it in a mature, yet also did it in a very comedic way that it could still get its message across without hammering the point home. So I appreciate that. The overall story and how it related its message, I thought was really well handled. The computer-generated effects in this movie look just as good in the first movie. What they're able to do and how they made these Legos look realistic is astounding. It looks really, really good. And we also go back to the live action sequences as we did in the first movie, now we go to this movie. You know, this time we have a thing of Finn and his sister Bianca, of the kid Finn, who's now grown up 5 years older, and now he has a sister. And the real life stuff parallels the Lego universe a little bit, you know, and especially with the inclusion of the mom character played by Maya Rudolph. Some of the humor in the live action sequences I was not a huge fan of, especially of Maya Rudolph. At one point or another, complaining the pain she's feeling after stepping on a Lego to giving childbirth. I did not laugh at that whatsoever. I thought that was not funny, but I did like the whole thing of Finn and Bianca at first, you know, being forced to put their Legos away because they can't get along. Then when you get to the end of the movie, you know, Finn, you know, discovers he has a change of heart, and him and his sister start building Legos together. And that actually is what brings the Lego universe together after Emmett, with the brainwashing of Rex, almost destroys the Lego universe because that's the only way to save his friends from the evil Queen wannabe, when the actual twist is that Rex was the evil one all along, and that the Queen and her people just wanted to be united with the rest of the Legos. I like all that. I like that twist. I like a lot of the references to the science fiction movies with the Rex character. And I just like the Rex character in general. Like, he's not an evil guy. He's just very, very hardened by what happened to him, in which Rex was abandoned by everybody, and that's how the Emmett version of Rex became this hardened person. But at the end, he rediscovers himself, and it's actually a nice, touching ending when he's fading away, Back to the Future style. I liked all that. So yeah, the Lego Movie Part 2, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I like it on the same level as that first movie, and I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.